Welcome back to Gorilla Man's Garage. Just a quick intro here, okay? Grab your coffee, grab your popcorn. It's a long one. The FIMI Mini 3, brand new, just came out. Their new camera, their new edition, the Mini 3. What's it like? How does it compare to the rest? And we may even look at the DJI Mini 3 to see what the differences are, okay? Stay tuned for more. At the end, we'll come back, have a conclusion. But again, it's going to be a long one. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you at the end. Welcome back to Gorilla Man's Garage. Today we're here with a FIMI Mini 3. Brand new, just got it, took a while. It's here, the FIMI Mini 3. Their third or fourth in their edition of their mini drones, okay? And if you pre-ordered, you got another battery with it. You got a plus battery with it, okay? It came with the Pro battery. You get an extra plus battery if you pre-ordered, okay? Was $299, now it's $349. So for Canada, it's on the same price level as a standard DJI Mini 3. Okay, the DJI Mini 2 SE is $299, and in Canada, the DJI Mini 3 is $335. So there you go. But how does it stack up? What's the difference between the earlier version, which we have here, the version 2, the X8 Mini version 2? What's the difference? Okay, let's get into it. Is it any better? Is it the same? Is it worth your money? Let's go. From FIMI, the FIMI Mini 3. There was the original in 2021, the X8 Mini. Their first rendition. Then a couple of years later, in March of 2023, they came out with the version 2. Then 6 or 7 months later, they came out with the orange version of the version 2. And then 6 months later, they've now come out with the Mini 3. What's the difference? Okay, we have here the orange version 2. We have here the new Mini 3. They look identical. On the front and the sides, they are identical. They look the same, they weigh the same. There's printing, and I'll show you a close-up here. There's printing on the front of the lens here that says 1/2 inch sensor and 48 megapixel. On the front of this one, it just says 4K, okay? But is there a difference? Well, right off the bat, there is a difference. And it's not just, oh, we've just replaced a camera. We flip these up, okay, and I'll show you a close-up of this, okay? And look at the sensors. Look at the sensors, the positioning and what they are. On the Mini 3, they are much larger, okay? Completely different than on the version 2. There we go. My pups are having a blast back here. Anyway, what else is different, okay? Yes, the major difference is the camera. This has a stacked 1/2.5 camera, SONY sensor. This has a stacked SONY sensor, 1/2 inch. Okay, f-stop on this one, the 2, version 2, was actually f-stop 2. Aperture on this one is 1.6, which means should be a lot better than this one in low light. We found with the version 2, if it was a bright sunny day, the colors were a little saturated, okay? Are we going to find it even more so because the aperture is bigger? We're going to find out, okay? So we're going to fly them both. We're going to see what the differences are, okay? And we're going to let you decide, okay? Are there any other differences? Well, it has a 12 times digital zoom. This one has a 6, okay? It has basically the same range, calculatable. I don't know how they calculate it. At sea level, no wind and all this kind of stuff, 9 kilometers. They both say 9 kilometers. But I think it's a different protocol, a little bit different. But with the new one, you can choose what transmission value you set, or what transmission protocol or frequency, if you will, between 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz or whatever it is. You can choose which one. I'm not that much into that or reasoning behind it. All I think I know is that most of them are on 2.4 where you get the best distance. Now this is for video transmission. I'm assuming because of that, that's controllability as well, whatever. But 2.4, usually get a farther range. 5.8, you get a more penetrable signal. So if you're in a very high interference area, you would get more penetration with 5.8 versus 2.4. But technically overall, I'm assuming like the FPV flyers and that usually go 2.4 so they can go further. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, we're going to check that out as well. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go out on 2.4 and 5.8 and see if there's any difference at all when the alerts come up, when whatever happens. There you go. Have I flown them? Yes. Yes. Okay, I've probably put about 4 or 5 flights through it already. Okay, and it performs pretty well identical. Okay, hovers the same. It's not 100% locked in solid. It has a little minor. It's, from what I can tell, it's a little tiny little bit better than the version 2. Okay, the return to home, I find this to be a little bit more accurate. The bigger sensors might help. Okay, it also has, on the version 2, you had to, in order to use zoom, you had to go into the options and turn on video zoom. Is that a bug right here? Wow. Got it. Aha. There we go. You had to turn on video zoom. On this one. On the new one, you don't. It's right there. And you can only zoom in SAR, SAR mode. Okay, search and rescue mode. Okay. Now, what else? I got some little crib notes here. Originally in the version 1, you used to be able to take photos in JPEG and DNG. They took that out for version 2, and it's still the same for here. You can only save in JPEG, but it does go up to 48 megapixel. So you can have 8, 12, and 48. Okay. What I had noticed, and I want to check this again, is when I change into a higher resolution for photos like 12 or 48, it affects the video transmission. So I'm going to check that out again. It did that to me a few times, so I want to check that out. This one you can go 8 or 12. I didn't notice any difference at all. This one, another big difference is you can shoot 4K 60. You can shoot 2.7K at 60 and 1080 at 60. With the version 2, you could only go up to 50 in 2.7. So you had 720p, but you had 1080, maximum was 50, 2.7 was 50, and 4K was 30. Okay, so there you go. What I did notice a few times was every time I switched it to 2.7K at 60, it cropped the image in. It didn't do that in 4K at 60, but it did that in 2.7K at 60. And when I went 4K at 60, it was very laggy. So I was going to do all that kind of stuff. What I really want to find out is maybe I'll have to adjust the EV value slightly because it's really, really bright. So maybe go down to minus 0.7 or minus 0.3. We'll check that out. We're going to set them both up from over on the landing pad over there. I'm going to send the new one, the Mini 3, up first, and then the version 2. But on the version 2, I just want to check out the video quality. Okay, because originally, before any updates, this came in, it was really oversaturated. Then they changed and had an update, and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Still a little bit oversaturated, but not too bad. With this one, it had an update right out of the box. Okay, so it's all been updated. I did some flights pre-update, and I did flights after the update, and I didn't notice any difference. Okay, so there you go. So let's get into it. Let's get this bad boy out there, up in the air, and let's see what we find out. Okay, let's go. So here we are. We have the FIMI Mini 3 on the pad, ready to go. I switched it over to 5, here we go, to 5 gigahertz. We're going to try that one. That's the one where if you've got any interference at all, it should go through it pretty good. Okay, so the range may not be quite there, but we're going to try that, see what happens. Okay, we've also got it on 2.7K at 30 frames per second to begin with, and I'll change it to 60 and you'll see the difference. I've also reduced the EV just a little slightly bit to minus 0.3 because it's a real sunny bright day. But other than that, everything's on. It's just on. I've got H.264 because I'm just old. I like that less compression for whatever reason, and we're going to try it. Yeah, we have HDR is turned off. If I turn it on, you see it brightens things up a bit. Let's just turn it off so we're all even across the board when we switch to the version 2. Okay, there we go. So let's get this up in the air. We'll get going and we'll see what happens. We're going to go over the lake and we'll get it up. Here we go. It goes up to about 2 meters, 2.5 meters. It's not, yeah, see that there? It does wander around a little bit, but it's a FIMI. So there you go. Okay, so let's bring that down a bit. There we go. Very easy to handle. It's wonderful that way. It does settle down once it's off of where, I think maybe even the launching pad affects it a little bit. But anyway, let's get it up. Let's come towards me a little bit. And we're gonna go up over here a bit. I'm going to start that video. There we go. Let's go forward and up. Up we go. Now we're 2.7. Up at 38, and we're going to go up to about, let's make it even 50. Well, I'm pretty close to 50. There we go. Bring that down a bit. And we're going to check on this horizon as well. Okay? So we're going to go out. We're at 50 meters. We're going to go out. Now the top speed on this is 8 meters per second. Okay? We're going to head that way. Okay, just so, well, where's this little lake over here? There we go. Okay. Now, the edge of this, not this lake, but the next little round lake up here, over this little rise here, is about 500 meters or so. So we're just going to face the trees, and I'm using the AldiCube iPlay Mini 50 Pro. There we go, that little lake there in the middle. See, we've got some breakup, and we're only at 250. Okay, and you can see that's all broken up there. Okay, there we go. And it clears up a bit. If I move anywhere, if I move slightly, maybe a little bit, don't know. There we go. So we've got to 400, but there's lots of trees, lots of leaves, lots of everything else. Okay, there we go. That's how far we got on that. Okay, so we got to 500 meters, and let's bring it home. It says auto return, it comes home, and we're at 2.7K at 30. Okay, so all the leaves are now in. Okay, they're all in. They're all fully bloomed, they're in, full of water. I'm not expecting to get super far. So we're going to switch it over. You have to land before we can switch it to 2.4. So we're going to land and switch to 2.4. Then I'm going to show the difference between the 2.7 at 30 and the 2.7 at 60, how it crops in, and the quality. Does it adjust the quality? That's one of the things, okay? So it's coming back, and as you see in the center of the one from the screenshot, you have that home point H, which I really like. That's really good, okay? So once we get it back, we're going to switch it over, and we'll go from there. Okay, it's coming back. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to land it because we've got a canopy over the landing site. So we're going to see very closely. I know I did this with my first version 2, and I took my eye off it for a second, like I'm doing now, and it came down in the tree. Well, there it is. Pretty close. I got ready to push the button just in case. It's pretty good. Hi, pups. No, we're gonna hit the tree, the canopy. There we go. Stop that video. Okay, down we come. There we go. I like doing that. Okay, to put it down on the pad again. And we're going to go in here. We're going to switch it to 2.4, which it may go through a system of disconnecting and reconnecting again, as you can see. It disconnects, reboots the system, comes back at 2.4. Here we go. We're 2.4. We're ready to go. Can we bring that camera up a bit? We're at 2.7. Not really interested in the camera because when we get up, we're going to go to 2.7 at 60. See what the difference is. Let's get this up in the air. Boom. There it is. It's a little better. It's a little better. Okay, everything is there. Okay. I like the fact it's got that 2.7 meter orange thing there. Come forward. There we go. Now let's get up. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this 2.7 at 60. See how it cropped in? And we're at 2.4. So we're going to start that video. I'm going to go up. And we're up to 32. We're up to 50. About now. Down a bit. There we go. And we're going to go out. So we're going to go out there. So we're on 2.4. We're at 51. Oh, too close. There we go. Exact same spot pretty well. So we're going to find out if it goes any farther. I'm pointing in the exact same directions, and we've already got the red light at 200. We've already got, I'll keep moving around a bit. Can I get it? Yeah, the trees really make a big difference here because, you know, some people say on 5.8 you can get, or on 2.4 you can get 3 times the distance. Well, I don't think so. Are we going to get to the 500 mark? 2.4, it breaks up a bit. Well, we got to about 500. There we go, it's pretty choppy. Let's do a return to home there. Now, I'm not getting as far as I did in the colder weather because there's tons of leaves on the tree, and I'm kind of hidden here really badly, okay? When I did my last ones here, there was no leaves on the trees, and I got out about 600 or 700 meters, which is, for me, on a FIMI is pretty good. But the claim of 9 kilometers, you would have to be in a dead flat, nothing, obstruction, no wind to get anywhere close to that. I have gotten 2.5 kilometers on one of them on a winter day, and I went out the other way and I was kind of watching it all the way. But this one, I don't think we're going to get close to 2 kilometers or so. So the range is basically the same. Okay, and we're going to try that when we put the version 2 up. Okay, so this is 2.7 at 60. Okay, so when we come back, here I'm going to cancel that there. Okay, and we're going to do some, well, it's up there, so we're going to do some flying around. Okay, and this is on 2.4. Okay. Boy, that orange dot in the sky is really good. There it is. Okay. Let's bring her down and put on 5.8 again. And stop that video. Okay, we'll switch over to 5.8. It'll do the little disconnect there, and it'll reconnect again. Okay. This time we're going to go into 2.760. We're going to go into 4K 30 and 4K 60 and see if there's any difference in when we do any yawing or changing directions, if it's laggier. I have had some experiments where it was laggy, and we're just going to find out. Usually I like to do this 4 or 5 times after a flight just to get everything worn in, and you know. Anyway, there we go. So right now we're there. We've got the camera is there. We're going to go to 4 at 30. Okay, and we're going to go, we've got everything else is set. Everything's on high. 4, great. Okay, up we go. Okay. And off we go again. We're up to 37, 46, 50. Well, down a little bit. There we go, 50. Okay, start that video. We're at 4K at 30, and we're on the 5.8 gigahertz, okay, which should be better for transmission through objects. So if it's got a 9-kilometer range, I'm assuming that it would be better. Okay, let's go a little bit this way. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to stop that video. I'm going to switch it over to 60. Okay, it went out a little bit. Start that video again. Okay, so see what it's like in the lagginess department. Yep, there we go. We're starting to lag already. Only out 200. Or maybe not too bad. Yeah, a few laggy here, and it's only 270. Let's bring it back. Come around. It's a little laggier. There we go. Should be coming back pretty good. We've got full signal strength. It's good. 4 at 60. Slightly laggy. And it might even be some jello in there. I'll have a boo at that, eh? I've got brand new SanDisk Extreme Pro 64 gig cards in, so that should be pretty good. Okay, now we're going to face the other lake. Well, keep on going around. I went the wrong way. We're going to do the other lake over here. Okay, now then, we're going to stop that video. I'm going to switch over. I'm just going to push the camera button here. It took a picture. Okay. Now we're going to take another picture. Okay, let's go forward until it's over me so I can face it a little bit better. It says compass interference. Okay, don't know why that is, but anyway, 28 satellites. Anyway, let's take another picture. Okay, now what we do is we're going to go up to 12. In 1248 megapixel photo mode, the frame rate of the image transmission coming to this device preview is relatively low. Please switch back to other modes promptly after taking a photo. Okay, so here we go. Take a photo. Okay, now let's go in and go to 48 megapixel. The same thing comes up, okay? Boom, take a picture. And it takes a while to take the picture. So it reduces the transmission rate, which means that CPU is working overtime, okay? There we go. So that's it. If I fly like this, there you go. It's really choppy. I mean, it didn't even move. Full left stick, nothing. But the craft is moving. There we go. So let's go back and put it in 8. 8. And we should be fine to go. Yep. There we go. So there you go. Yep. So that's the differences. So I'm going to look through this video and have a chat at the end. So let's bring it home. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to 2.7 at 30. Just for kicks and giggles. There we go. Here we come. And down we come. And we're coming down. There we go. Let's bring it forward. It handles very well. It really does. We're down to 45% in the battery. Okay, there we go. And we're stopped. And it automatically stops the video, which is really good. We're not going to get any corrupt videos. So let's turn this off. And we're now we're gonna get the other one up, okay, and have a look at that, okay? Okay, here we go. We have the FIMI X8 Mini version 2. We just flew the Mini 3. This is the version 2. Is the video any different? Now we can't go 60 frames per second, which I don't really ever think of using it anyway. But we've got 2.7 at 30, and we've got 8 megapixels on the camera for a photo to initially start, okay? Let's get this up. We cannot choose what we want to do as far as transmission goes, okay? We don't have a choice in 2.4 or 5.8, whatever. We know we've got, everything is updated. There is no new update for this one. Be warned though, okay? If you plug in your Mini 3 and you have the old app, the FIMI Mini, Navi Mini app, okay? It'll come up and say, oh, I can't find an app that's gonna run it. You have to manually update it. None of my devices automatically updated the app to the new version 1.1.34, okay? So I did that manually. And the difference is, obviously, this is what's there natively, right? But now they've added a little choice there, and you can choose, okay? but that's what we have, okay? We're into it. There we are. We've got everything. Battery's up 100%, exact same battery as what was in the other one. And we're gonna get up, go out the same way and see what happens, okay? Let's get this up in the air. Here we go. Boom. It goes up the same 2.2 meters. Okay. It flies the same. Now in this one I'm using my larger tablet. I'm using my, what is it? Tech Class T40 HD. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely great. Little, there we go. Okay, let's go forward. Let's start that video. There we go. Forward we go. Up we go. There we go. Gonna get up to that 50 meter mark. Gonna get up to that 50 meter mark. Yep. There we go. 41, 3, 5, 7, 9. That should about do it. A little bit less. There we go. So we're good. Let's bring that camera down a bit. Okay. Let's see how far we can go out this time. Should be out about there. Okay. We have reduced the EV by just minus 0.3. So we should be pretty good. And we'll see how far. We, at about the 400 mark, it start to break up, right? And yeah, so let's see what happens on this one. So we come this way just a touch that way. There we go. Exact same route, same height, same everything. 5 minutes apart, 6 minutes apart. We're up at 300, 400. There we go. Isn't that going to be interesting if it kicks out way after the other one? There we go. We have the video kicking out here. But we still have lots. Oh, there we are. Yeah, around the same. Around the same, yeah. Give or take, about the same. Yeah. Yeah. So let's do a return to home. So virtually the same distance on both. So if it wasn't so heavily treed and forested with foliage and trees and leaves and stuff, they'd be virtually identical. Okay, so the physical differences are extremely minimal. The weight-wise are exactly the same, and I'll show you the two weights of ready to fly weights that I had. And the only difference was the Mini 3, I didn't have an SD card in it, so it was like 0.1 of a gram lighter. So there you go. So they're exactly the same weight by my scales, and I've had my scales calibrated, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. So it's coming back. Here we go, and yeah, there we go. What I want to do is, okay, I want to cancel that for a second. Now we're gonna turn around. Well, we're gonna go this way. We're gonna go up this way. We're gonna take a picture. Stop that video. Actually, I should not have done that. So we'll start that video again. If I press this once, what happens? Nothing. Okay, stop the video. Press the photo button once. Took a photo. We're going to take another photo, just like we did last time. This is 8 megapixel. Took another picture. We're going to see if there's any difference in darkness and lightness. Okay? And yeah, I'll talk about that at the end as well. So let's go out. We're up at 50. Okay? And as we go up over us, there it goes. That orange in the sky, it's like a beacon. Like I don't even see a cloud in the sky, and that big orange thing looks amazing. It's amazing. So we're out about 100 meters or so. Okay, I want to go about 200. I know I can go that way because I got a better, I see clear as day. But we're out 100, 200, there it is. 220, yep. So I'd say my visual line of sight is about 500 with this thing. It's really good. Okay, so I'm going to do return to home. Okay, and we're going to see if we got the drunken sailor. Okay, I didn't do this on the Mini 3, but I did do it on the Mini 3 on a day earlier, yesterday. Okay, and the drunken sailor was not there. Here we go, off we go, and it's going to come back. Here we go. See the drunken sailor? Yipper. Whoa, you're looking in the sky. Let's just cancel that sucker. Whoa. So they didn't change it on this one, but they changed it on the Mini 3. If you could have seen it in the sky, it was just going. It was really going. I wish I had another camera. It was really, oh, there's a big bird up there. Can I bring it down? There we go. Yeah, so they didn't fix it on this one. There we go, and come down. So there we go. Let's switch back over there. Doesn't make any difference. And there we go. Okay. That's the FIMI X8 Mini 2. There we go. We'll turn it off. And I like that. I like that when you turn it off, it gives you that signal. So that's great. So now I know you're all wondering. You're all going to wonder, okay? But that's got a 1/2 inch sensor. The Mini 3 has a 1/2 inch sensor and an f-stop of 1.6. The version 2, Mini X8 Mini 2, has a 1/2.5 stacked sensor and a f-stop 2. How does that stack up with the DJI Mini 3? It has a 1/1.3 sensor. It's not stacked. They didn't get the stacked until they went to the 4 and the Air 3. So how does a 1/1.3 camera stack up to a 1/2, 1/2 inch sensor that's stacked? We're going to find out right now. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, here we are. We have the DJI. There you go. With the DJI Mini 3. Okay, and we're just waiting for satellites. We've got them all now. We've got 14. That's enough. It'll go up to about 25 or so when we get up there. But anyway, this is the DJI RC. Okay, it's 700 nits. It's really bright. Let's see if we can turn that brightness up a little bit more. We'll go all the way. There we go. Okay, it's a beautiful screen. It really is a beautiful screen, okay? Compared to my tablets, they're good, they're okay, but they're not as bright as this, and they're not as bright as the FIMI TX10 controller either. But this is really good. It's really good. So, what are we going to do? We've got 2.7 at 30, which is what we had before on the other ones, and on the FIMI Mini 3 and the FIMI X8 Mini version 2, we set it at minus 0.3 EV, which is exactly what we have here. Okay, we have storage, 48 gigs left. Okay, tons of room on there. Okay, everything is great. We don't have to worry about anything. I just updated it. The update was basically for remote ID for the States and some other countries, things like that. We don't worry about that right now in Canada. Okay, and some other things and whatever, but I don't think it's really going to affect anything. Okay, nothing really was added to it. Okay, we have auto return to home, 100 meters. No, thank you. 50. 50, okay. Maximum altitude 120. No limit. Yada, 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 yada. Compass normal, normal. Everything is great. Control, metric, large text. I love the large text. I haven't flown this for a while. So we're good to go. About transmission, App version is 1.13. Model number, firmware. There we go, we're good to go. Okay, let's get this up in the air. Press and hold, boom. Sorry, there it goes. Wi-Fi's been turned off. There we go, okay. Now, I have a lavalier mic on me for this, because if you don't have a mic plugged in, you get no sound. And that's how I sync up easier this video and the video from the camera. And I use a program called Power Director, because I really like that, because it's the only one I found so far that if you have two sequences of cameras that take audio, so I have the audio from the main camera, I have the audio from a screen recorder, how do I sync them up quickly? Well, Power Director has a one-button solution. You highlight both of the tracks you want to sync, and there's a button called Sync Audio, boom, and it lines them all up, and you're perfectly synced, okay? That's how easy it is for that one. Anyway, we're up and running. Excuse me, dogs are fighting over a piece of wood. Anyway, let's come forward a bit. I know, okay? It's a DJI, it's absolutely awesome. Compared to the FIMIs, it is rock solid, and this controller is just smooth as butter. It's absolutely awesome. Look at that. Turn, I can turn just by touching these sticks a little bit. It's so good, so nice. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna go that way a bit. There we go. Let's start that video. Up we go. Okay, what does this one do? Oh, that's the zoom. Don't want to zoom. We're good. Okay, we're taking video. Here we go. Up and out we go. Once we get up there, I'm going to look at that beautiful sky. It's gorgeous. This screen is absolutely incredible. Okay, once I get up to 50 meters, you're going to see the difference. 40, 50, there we go. Okay, bring that camera down a bit to about where we were with the other ones, which is about there. Okay, we're going to face it out to the same direction. And remember, I only have, this is the antenna. Okay, there we go. Here we go, we're going to go out. And we're going to go out and see where we get to. We're up at 49 meters, go a little bit higher. There we go, 50 meters. Oh, I want 50 meters, there we go. There we go, 50 meters. So see that little lake coming up over the hill there? There we go. It's, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. You really can't. I really like FIMI, I do. I really do. But this is just being spoiled. I mean, this is just being spoiled. We are now out at 400 meters. We have a little glitch in the RC there, up there in the top corner. You can see it turning a little bit yellow. We're going to turn to the left a bit. We've surpassed the 500 meter mark, and it'll just keep on going for, there we go. Okay, yeah. So we're going to go, yeah, RC is getting down there. Here we go. Yeah, we're going to get out to about 700 meters. There we go. Okay, left turn. Look at that turn. There we go. Okay, if we get 800, I'd be absolutely floored if I got 800 meters on this. Absolutely. Yep, we did. Okay, we're going to do a return to home, which is return to home. Return to home. Now, a DJI, and this is the crux of the thing, and I'll talk about it later too. Not with this controller, with the N1 controller, the other one where you can put a phone in and all that kind of stuff. That and the Mini 3 in Canada now, $335 US, $335. The FIMI Mini 3 they've now bumped the price up from $299 to $349. So it's cheaper to buy this than it is the FIMI. Only difference is this has pretty well 0 flight modes. It's a flying camera and that's about it, okay? It's a flying camera and that's about it. What I'm gonna do when it comes back is I'm gonna stop the video, I'm gonna take a 4K at 30 and go out the other way and see if it's any different. I can't go 60 frames a second, but I doubt I would really ever use that. But here it comes. Okay, it's coming somewhere. I wish they had that H on here as well. I know they had that on the Pro version, and I can't get rid of that buzzing sound only by turning down the volume, I guess. So anyway, there we go. The screen is phenomenal. It's light, it's wonderful, it's not a problem. But there it is, right above us. Okay, let's stop that. Okay, and stop that video. We'll go into the video. And we'll go 4K. Well, we can go 2.7, we can do 2.7 at 60. Well, let's try that and see what happens. Okay, 2.7 at 60. Okay, here we go, boom. And we're gonna be going this way. Okay, we're gonna go out that way this time. Okay, here we go. We're just gonna go about 200 meters. Okay, I'm gonna go that way. It's a lot faster now. It's a gray bird, and I would say it's not half as visible as the orange of the FIMI. Not really, no. Okay, so, but the transmission is beautiful, and this is 2.7 at 60. It's really beautiful, okay? Really is beautiful, okay? I'd really like to get down to here again, and I can go anywhere with this. It's wonderful. Sorry, FIMI, it's a FIMI video, but sorry, DJI kind of blew you out of the water on this one. From flyability points of view. Okay, return to home.
Return to home.
Return to home. It comes home, it works, it's absolutely stunning. Okay, so DJI does have the DJI Mini SE, Mini 2 SE. They got the new one, the 4K. That's it. I might have made a mistake earlier, but it's the new 4K Mini, right? Which is basically the Mini 2 SE, pretty well. Slight difference, but yeah, that's a $299. But Canadian money, okay, Canadian. For some reason in the States, the DJI Mini 3 standard with the N1 controller is $419. But for Canada, it's $335. But then you have to pay your 13% tax and your 38% exchange rate. Oh, where is it? It's up there. Okay. Okay, let's stop that video. And let's turn around again. We've got lots of juice left. Okay, and notice the horizon on the DJI. It's bang on. Okay, stop that video. And we're gonna go over to camera. No, I gotta go over to camera. Photo. And at the bottom it's at 48 megapixel, okay? So we're gonna go 48 megapixel, take a picture. It's a two-step, I love it. It's got the sound effects, it's got everything, okay? And we're gonna take another one just for measure, like we did. First click is focus, second is the actual picture. Now we're gonna go and take a regular picture, single, which should be, I believe, 12 megapixel. Okay, take a picture. There we go. And we always like to take two, just in case. Now, can we zoom in? Yes, we can, look at that. Okay, let's go a little bit to the right there. Okay, take a picture. There we go. So what else can we do there? We got single shot, ABS, Nah, I don't want that. photo, single photo, video. There we go. Okay, let's go back to video mode. And we can do 2.7 4K at 30 or 25. We'll go 30. Okay, 4K at 30, and we're still -3. Okay, great. Take a video, and we're gonna up a little bit with the camera. There we go, a little bit like that. There we go. And let's fly out a bit. And let's go up a little bit. I'm gonna go up to about 60 or 70. There we go, 73. And we're down on the EV just slightly. Okay, it's always better to be a little dark than a little light. Okay, and what I have noticed is that, well, can we change it on the fly? Can we change this on the fly? Yeah, we can. Boom. Nope, don't want that. 0. Okay, let's just do that 0 there. Here we go. We're just going to turn around. That's the difference. 4K at 30. And we'll just keep on coming back around. And then we're going to come back, and that'll be it. So now you'll have a really good representation of all of these drones. Okay, really. Here we go. We're coming home. And we should be coming home. If we line up that arrow in the bottom left corner, the orientation bubble should be just about there. Okay, and that's just gorgeous. See how the colors are natural? This is what it looks like, okay, for me. Okay, maybe the FIMI's a little out on that, I don't know. But I'm gonna go inside, have a look at it, and then we're gonna have a conclusion. Here it comes. Yep, I hear it, I see it. There we go. There we go. Come on back. And down. There we go. And coming down. There we go. It's like a stealth bomber. Just, it's amazing. Love it. Very good. Very good. Okay, that's it. Let's stop that video. And we're going to land it. Up and down. Boom. And as soon as I hear the prompt landing, I let go of the stick, it comes down right into my hand, and it stops. That's awesome. DJI Mini 3 Standard Edition, no obstacle avoidance. How does this stack up with a Mini 3 from FIMI? We'll be right back with that answer and more. Take care. Well, you're still here. Yeah, it's the end of the video. I'm glad you're still hanging around. Let's wrap all this up, and I've got a few little notes here, okay? I'm going to put up in the corner here the glitch video about the X8 Mini version 2 and all the little issues that that version had in the app, etc., etc. Now for the Mini 3, they did fix a few things, like the drunken sailor and the darkened images and that. They fixed a few things they haven't touched yet, okay? But that's a work in progress, okay? For the Mini 3, this thing with the 4K 60 and that it degrades the video transmission back to your device in 4K 60 and 2K 60, you get all that lag. That's not a good thing. That's not a good impression for me. It's really not. And the fact you have to understand that when you change from 8 megapixel photos to 12 to 48, and you can't even fly if you're in 48 megapixel photo mode, you can't really line up your shot because you can't move it because of the lag, and you have to do an 8 megapixel, set up your shot, then switch to 48, and by that time your shot's gone. Ridiculous. I mean, the CPU on this thing is just overtaxed. It's just overtaxed. I have a feeling they're trying to test this stuff out for their next rendition, the next big change. They can't just keep refining the same old model structures, just like the X8 SE and X8 Pro and then all these X8 Mini. They just can't keep it. There's something new's got to be coming out. Okay, so I'm hoping this is the test ground for that. Okay, the flight record in this, in the Mini 3. When you look at the flight record back, you got all that jittery geo zone stuff. That's probably a minor fix, but it is annoying when you're looking at that. Okay, so we've got one thing that is not documented. It is not documented anywhere, and it's a good feature. It's not on the X8 Mini, but it's on this new Mini 3, is when you're flying below 5 meters, there's a warning saying the ground is so many meters below you. Not how far you are off your landing or your takeoff point, but how far the ground is. So if you're flying over a building or a tree or whatever, and you're coming down, it's going to tell you when you're below 5 meters from that object. Hubsan has this. You can turn that on and off on a Hubsan, but I've never seen it on a FIMI, and it's a really good feature. I really like that. I don't know why they don't advertise it or promote it, but there you go. So we've talked about the photos, and again, in the previous version, the version 2, excuse me, in the X8 Mini version 2, you could switch between 8 megapixel and 12 megapixel, and it didn't deteriorate your video. In the Mini 3, you switch to 12 megapixel and your video transmission is garbage. There you go. Okay, there's still no camera adjustments. You can't adjust the contrast, the saturation, brightness and stuff. You can adjust the ISO and all that kind of stuff, okay? I didn't do any night vision stuff because I don't really do night flights. I think they're kind of dangerous, really, because you never know where a wire is or a tree or a tower or whatever. So I don't do them that much, okay? But I will be doing some really overcast, darkened days to see what happens there, okay? Test out this f-stop 1.6, etc., etc., okay? I did notice that the video was a little oversaturated, just a little bit. If you take the notice of some of the grass that was taken on the DJI and from the main camera here, compare that to some of the flight footage from the 4K 30, 2.7K 30 and 60. If you do that, you find out that the Mini 3 is a little oversaturated. I'm going to throw up a little diagram here, a little image here, and it's of the 3 drones that I flew. The version 2, the Mini 3, and the DJI Mini 3. So here's a picture and have a look at that. Now they're taken from video, so they may not be 1000%, digitally sharp, whatever, but you can see the color profiles of each one. And it seems that the Mini 3 is much oversaturated from what it really should be. The DJI one is the closest, and the version 2 is not far off of that, okay? There's no way it's that emerald green look that the Mini 3 shows you. But it is a lot better than the first attempt with the version 2. The first attempt at the version 2 was horrible, way oversaturated. Then they fixed that, okay? The DJI one is pretty close to what my main camera is, and that's what it should be, okay? So, but it is pleasing, and again, coloring, color saturation, color profiles, etc., they're all subjective to the individual, okay? So maybe some people like that. You can always change it in post, but there's nothing in the app that says how to change this. You can't change saturation, you can't change contrast, any of this kind of stuff. You can in Hubson's, you can in DJI's, etc., but you can't do it on the FIMI. Okay, so we're back here again. Have we gone over everything that's been here? Yeah, pretty well. So the thing is, okay, is it worth your hard-earned money? Excuse me, tickle in my throat again. Is it worth your $299, or pardon me, your $349, I guess it is? Well, for the same price, you can get a DJI Mini 3 Standard. For the same price, you can get a Potensic Atom 2, or Atom, whatever it is, which has all kinds of other issues. So, from the budget point of view, you've really got 3 decent drones to pick from. You've got the DJI 4K Mini, the DJI Mini 3, and now the FIMI Mini 3, which is pretty good, okay, for the money, pretty good. They haven't really tightened the screws and honed in or tuned in on what's really important, but they're getting there, okay? Is it worth the $299? Yeah, it flies reasonably well. It takes reasonably good photos and good imagery and footage and that. It's a shame that you have to dance around some pylons to get the actual photo you want, and that the image degradation and lag is so bad, but it does have workarounds. You don't have to choose 4K 60. You can choose 4K 30, 2.7 at 30, and it's really, really good, okay? And you can adjust things as you like. So it's no worse than the version 2, and in some cases it's a little bit better. They did fix a few things. So for the $299, it's not bad. Over the DJI Mini 3, not a chance. But it does have a feature-packed presentation in its arsenal and library. You can choose from the waypoints. You can spiral, you can orbit, you can circle, you can do all kinds of things in continuous video. It's got some great features that way. DJI has none. But if you choose to use the Rainbow app for DJI Mini 3, that unlocks a ton of stuff. And I'll put that video up here. You can do your waypoints, you can do your circles, your orbits, your things, everything, okay? So you're almost on an even keel there, okay? And in that respect, there's no question DJI Mini 3 is worth way, way, way more for the money. You're paying the same amount of money, right? Okay, there you go. But as an alternative to DJI with no NFZ issues, I still say the FIMIs are right up there. Right up there. It's a good drone for the money, okay? It's got these little issues still, but it's a good drone. Would I buy it if I didn't have another FIMI? Yeah, I might consider it. Yeah, it's a good option, okay? It's got decent range. You can't really go by here, but it's got decent range, and it's easy to fly, and it's not going to break the bank. And I don't know what else to say about it, okay? If I didn't have one. If I had the version 2, would I buy the Mini 3? No, not really. I don't really see the use in 4K 60. 2.7 at 60 is plenty if you're using it for, say we're doing, I don't know, out in the water and videographing surfers or skiers or something like that. Something fast moving, you want to slow it down. Yeah, I can see that. But 4K 60, my computer wouldn't even handle 4K 60. My 55-inch TCL 4K Ultra TV wouldn't even handle 4K 60. It would bring them back to 30, and it was slow motion. So there you go. Is there a spot for 4K 60? I don't know. You'd need some brand new computer to make it work. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, I've rambled enough. Okay, so this is the first overview impression comparison of the Mini 3 from FIMI versus its older version versus a DJI Mini 3. You know, you be the judge. What do you think? Okay, next I'm going to do some not so great sunny days. I'm going to get into some of the features, some of the flight modes, some of the differences, things like that. But this was just the first attack at it. And FIMI, you should have maybe just tested it before you released it, because this lag means you're not going to use half of the features you purport to have really upgraded and you're pushing as the main new features for this drone. The lag is just horrible. It's just horrible the way it works. Anyway, that's enough of that. We'll still get into this. We'll do a lot more videos. We'll get into it. But in the meantime, as always, please hit that like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell. If you feel like it, buy me a coffee. Okay? There you go. Till next time, take care. And thanks again for sticking around to the end. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.